This is Michael Yan, live in Hong Kong. I have not made it to Thailand yet. I was going to leave Wednesday, which is today, I guess, for you. And but Steve Bannon asked me to stay a little longer, and John Batchelor the famous John Batchelor did a radio interview with him yesterday, and Gordon Chong asked me to stay and meet someone who's flying into town, so I've delayed that. It's just hard to fund, but I was going to fly back Wednesday today, and but instead I'm still here, and going to do some meetings today on Thursday, because it's faded into Thursday already, right? Yeah, it's 00335, so it's 12:35, so it's Thursday morning. And so interesting, there's still people here out on the streets putting up another linen wall. These are the walls that the Patriots put up all over Hong Kong, kilometer after kilometer of these walls, and then the pro-Beijing people come and tear them down, and the pro-democracy Patriots just come and put them right back up. And so that's what they're doing here after midnight, still putting up another wall. And there's reasons why they do this. There's specific reasons. One is a lot of people, believe it or not, are not on Facebook or social media and don't have smartphones. A lot of the older people, for instance, what I call the GIA, the Grandmother Intelligence Agency, the older people who are really hugely important in this movement, a lot of them are not on, here, you can see where we're at Fortress Hill. A lot of them are not on social media. They don't even use smartphones and whatnot. So what they'll do is they'll put these linen walls up all over the place, and they'll have messages, specific messages about what happened during the previous week and what's coming up the next week. So for instance, they'll put up the schedules. They'll put up, like there was a terrorist attack earlier today in Mongkok on Jimmy Sham. He's been attacked before. He led one of the giant protests back in June, and he's been a protest leader ever since. So this here is an example of messaging about events to come. There'll be a huge protest, I believe, this Sunday. So I'm actually going to stay for that as well, since I'm staying. I guess Steve and John asked me to stay for other things. But I'll stay to the bitter end as long as the funding is there, but it's not. So that's why they put up these linen walls. One is to show that they're still in the fight, which they very much are. It's growing, and they're becoming more skilled in their fighting abilities, and also to put the messages out about what happened in the week before. For instance, next week, surely there'll be messages about Jimmy Sham and the terrorist attack that happened today at Mongkok. By the way, the Hong Kongers are very thankful for Americans who keep standing up for Hong Kong, and that the Congress has taken this a step further. Everybody's watching it very closely here. This is on the linen wall. Everybody saw what LeBron James and the NBA did for perpetual shame that they will live with forever. Their new master, Master Xi. Tim Cook over at Apple, same thing, Master Xi. China is their master. Reminds you of the 1930s Nazi Germany, doesn't it? Well, I wasn't alive yet, but I've certainly read a lot of the history and heard a lot of the stories when I lived in Europe for 6 years. So we'll go down and talk with some of the Patriots downstairs who are putting up the wall still tonight after midnight. Please share this out, and also hit the subscribe button and the bell so that you get alerts when we go live, because on Sunday this is where I'll be broadcasting from, at the giant protest, and I'm going to guess it's going to be over 1 million. Their goal is to be the biggest yet, which I believe that they can do. So let's walk down here, and I'm just going to share their feet and ask anybody if they wants to talk. Sick, nice shoes. Howdy. Anybody want to say what's going on? I'll keep your faces out of it. Okay, yeah. I know somebody that wants to talk, but we were talking earlier, and then I walked away to get this going. Let me find him down here. They put a lot of money into this, by the way. All the glue, and I mean, I think the last time I asked how much it cost to put up a linen wall, it was something like 500 or 800 US dollars. Because it was pretty big, because they put it all along the sidewalk too, that went very far. Remember that sidewalk? I made YouTube of it, or not YouTube, but put it on Facebook Live. Went far down here. Oh, the fellow that I wanted to talk with in particular, he's got to be around here somewhere. Anyway, he sometimes has talked on my live feeds before. But yeah, so they're out here working on the linen wall. I'm just gonna stay back to make it harder to recognize. It's after midnight. Terrorist attacks continue on the Patriots. Now, some will say, what about they'll do the whatabouts. What about, the police shooting the gas? What about the Patriots throwing petrol bombs, which they do. It's not all false flags. It's clearly Patriots sometimes that throw the petrol bombs. But when you really look at all these things in context, it's always easy to frame it in a context that's favorable to one's argument, right? When you put this in the larger global context of what's happening, they're resisting what they call China Nazis here. This is just like 1938. And so when they do these things, for instance, throw the petrol bombs, they're throwing them at China Nazis, right? And I've actually asked a lot of them to stop doing that. But they are resisting basically Chinese Nazis, or even worse. And so there's the context. So you can step back and recut the video and say, well, look, they threw a stone, and so the police did this and did that. There are hundreds of cases now of, we're losing signal. It's funny because even while I was going to actually fly out today due to lack of funding, Jerome is working tonight trying to make a better system for better signal and better video, but anyway, we keep cutting out. And so, yeah, that's enough.